Next game up on field one here is the jug final, which is the Palmerston Crocs versus the Northern Warriors.
Up in the top end as the rain clouds gather, and it's the Northern Warriors playing left to right in the multicoloured tops, and they kick off to the Palmerston Crocs in blue. Not the best start.
I've seen better starts, but it's only early, and everybody makes mistakes, so let's see how the Crocs start this off.
All right, that's Napa with the tap, and they go to the left. Some good straight running from the Crocs, but just a little bit messy. Nice little advantage paid, and the Warriors go on attack, and they've got some numbers out wide. They've got a big man steaming along the sideline there, but once again the last pass goes astray. The referee plays advantage, and the ball swung out for the Crocs, but a yellow card for somebody. What was that, a shoulder or a high tackle?
No, it was just an unfortunate tackle. He was actually falling down. He reached out and took the player around the neck. It wasn't, there was no malice in it. It was just one of those mistakes that just you can't do much about now.
All right, so the Crocs look to take advantage of their numerical supremacy. So the referee penalising the Warriors for not releasing the tackled player, not releasing. But a little bit of fortune here for the Warriors as they snap onto a intercept, a wayward pass, and strolling over the try line to score the first points. Gee, you could say that was against the run of play, Mark Allen.
Oh, it certainly was. The Crocs had, obviously they got 7 players to 6. There was just not a lot of thought about that pass. The Warrior player was in a perfect position just to take it and say, thank you very much. I'll take the 7 points, thank you.
Well done to the Warriors. Probably the Crocs might have just sort of eased off the pedal there, knowing that they had a man up, and the Warriors restart. The ball is hoisted. Underneath is a Crocs player in the number 9 jersey, 19, 13, Sanderfields. So we'll have a restart from a scrum. Warriors head and feed. The Warriors 1 man down, remember, as they clear the scrum. Bit of footwork from the Warriors as the support player comes from the inside. He shrugs off one tackle, he lines up the posts, and he'll slide in underneath. Gee whiz, having a man sent off seems to have brought the Warriors to life, Mark Ella.
They certainly have. You would never have expected it, but they've taken the initiative. They've had limited opportunities, but they've taken every one of them. I mean, the Crocs, they fell off the tackle, which gave the opportunity to the Warriors.
And a nice finish by Jimmy Harris.
Yeah, it looks like they're all on the field at the moment. It's 7 against 7 again.
All right, so about 3.5 minutes to go in this half. The Warriors lead 14-0. The restart, a little bit messy, no clean take, but it's tidied up there by the Warriors as they evade tackles. Good pressure applied by the Crocs. We go out wide again for the Warriors, and their big men are running rampant out in the middle. But the cover defence comes across for the Crocs and drags them down. They've turned the ball over. Let's see if they can make something here. They can't, but the referee was playing advantage.
Well, it was a long advantage, and the Crocs are lucky that they didn't give away another 7 points. They've got to have more control of the football. I know we're not talking about Test match rugby here, but they just it's too all over the place at the moment.
How long do you think an advantage should be played, Mark Allen? One pass or
Well, in terms of sevens rugby, when you only got 7 aside, it should only be for about the first 10 seconds, and then straight away it should go back to normal play.
So it's Crocs ball. Look like they're getting jammed into their corner here. Plenty of pressure applied by the Warriors, and gee, the Crocs just not coping with the pressure.
Yeah, I can understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to hold the ball and spread the ball wide, but like I said, they painted themselves in the corner. Yeah, I'm not a great fan of kicking, but there was no sweeper, so I probably would have hoisted the ball down in midfield and played 50-50, at least take away all the danger that obviously present at the moment.
Yeah, throughout the tournament, there's been a lack of that tactical kicking, hasn't there? I mean, there's been the little chip and chase and the grubber through, but no real strategic wipers kick into the corner.
No, that's right. And it's kicking's, I guess, very much part of this game also.
All right, short arm penalty to the Crocs. Let's see, but they really need pass and loop because they need to get support players behind the carrier. Managed to make some good meterage out on the far side. But, gee, the Warriors' defence is keen too, aren't they? They round these guys up.
Well, they are. They're defending very well, but they're playing no sweeper. So, there is an advantage if you put the ball behind the defensive line.
Opportunity here. The gap opened up for the Crocs, but it's soon closed. And holding on. Looked like a bit of squeeze ball as well. Sealing off as the Warriors come away on that right-hand side. Ball lost in the tackle. The game just a little scrappy at the moment. The referee plays advantage as the Crocs stride their way up this near touchline.
That's it now, a bit of space.
The man with the shiny boots, let's see his footwork as he clears the first tackle of the second. He's rounded up by the second. High tackle, no yellow card.
He had 2 players on his outside, on his right-hand side. I know he made the advantage and got a penalty given to him, but basically he had 2 unmarked players on his right-hand side.
So opportunities not being exploited by the Palmerston Crocs. And there's our first tactical kick of the game. Mark Allen, he's found there's no sweeper at home. The bounce pops up for him. He'll stride out towards the try line. Oh, and a big 9.9 dive under the posts.
That was a great dive. And a kick up, the lead up wasn't too bad either. We just talked about the lack of kicking in the game, and perhaps that's an option, particularly for a team like the Crocs. He got the perfect bounce, and what about this dive? He deserved every moment of it.
Great effort by the number 11. And it's the Warriors leading the Crocs 14-7. No number 11 on the Crocs team sheet. the Warriors basket, but they've turned it over. We've seen a lot of turnover ball in this game. The Crocs recycle out to the right, through the hands. Probing, ball out in front. Nice little 1-2, and it's that number 11 again, streaking for the corner. Great try to number 11 for the Crocs.
That was a great try. How easy was it? Just a simple loop around. Draw the players, commit the players to the tackle, and just loop around. We'll have a look at it now. He did extremely well. Just pass the ball, like he ran straight, which opened up the opportunity out wide, and then had far too much pace and puts them well and truly back into this game.
Well, if they get this conversion, it'll be all locked up, but this is a big ask for their kicker. Tyrone. So 14-12, the Warriors lead the Crocs. The Crocs have a sniff early in the second half. Let's see if they can hunt down the Warriors. Ball hoisted, taken nicely. Fends off a few tacklers. The ball carrier out there for the Warriors. Through the hands, a little juggle. Straightens up play. Where's the supporters? Ruck forms. But Crocs called for incorrect entry from the side. Warriors ball through the hands again. Straightens up. Gee, that looked a bit high. Referee playing advantage. Penalty given. High tackle. It's the Warriors go on a little searching run. Out to their wingman, Dennis. Through the hands again. Middle of the field, probing. Looking for a gap, an opportunity, but they really need a change of angle. Another little strategic kick, but the sweeper back there, it's a foot race. Oh, great courage shown by the Crocs defense, but in the end, it's the Warriors with the try.
No, you're right, Evan. That's what you got to actually mix it up a little bit. You just can't play the standard, throw the pass, from left to right. You've actually got to have an experiment, and that's we talked a little bit earlier about kicking the ball. It was a contest and a great pickup to score in that right-hand corner to actually give them a little bit more breathing space.
And in these kind of wet and humid, slippery conditions, the bouncing ball along the ground, it's a 50-50 on the pickup.
Yep.
Gee, that's a handy conversion by the Warriors.
It is a great kick. It might have only went over by a couple of inches, but that's all that matters.
So it's the Warriors 21 leading the Crocs 12 in the jug final. Just over 3.5 minutes to go.
Well, the Warriors have been the better side, but they've allowed the Crocs back into the game. We've got 3.5 minutes to go. They've got to actually play with a little bit more discipline and just close the game out.
So the Warriors with the restart. Looks like it'll go 10. Good contest underneath the ball. The Warriors tidy up and look to consolidate. Ooh, some big collisions out there, but gee whiz, their big man's just flying. He's fended off about 1,000 players. But just a little error at the end ruins the play.
Oh, no, that was fantastic play. I mean, we talk about discipline, and, in games like this, you need leaders. And he knocked off about 3 or 4 different players and ran probably 30, 40 metres before he lost control of the ball. But at least, he was doing something positive. He had the right attitude and was just, I guess, a little bit unlucky at the end.
Certainly did put his head down and believed in himself. 2.5 minutes, score check. Warriors 21, Crocs 12. Oh, I would strike against the feed, but a little scrum penalty there. I think it was changing the angle, and the scrum screwed, didn't it, Mark?
Don't ask me, mate. I know nothing about scrums. Even 3-a-side scrums.
As the Crocs find a hole down the middle, but another skill error. But a high tackle called. Quick tap from the Crocs. Not back 10. Yellow card.
And that was well played by the Crocs. In fact, he was impeded. Didn't get back to 10 and deserved to be sent off.
And ruled intentional, I think.
Yes.
Cynical play by the Warriors.
Yep, definitely.
That could cost them. Let's see if the Crocs can exploit. Oh! And our hero from the first half drops the ball on.
Oh, you can't do that. You've got 7 players against 6. You're 9 points behind. You need to score, and you make a fundamental error.
How often do you see those quick guys, though? They actually think about the sprinting away for the try line before they actually catch the ball.
Yeah, well, there's a guy called David Campuzzi who was a bit like that, but he could take the ball from anywhere. But you're right. He's got his speed. He just wanted the ball, and he was probably a little bit too close in. He should have been out wider. He needs space.
All right, Warriors ball. Little pick up and run from the base of the scrum by their acting half. Nice little set in the middle of the play. They can go both sides. They pick the left. The little ball out in front. Gee, shrugs off a high tackle, and he sprints away. That's Moses Nicky, and he'll dive in the corner for the Warriors and put them out front. I think that'll seal the game.
Oh, that'll seal the game. The game is well and truly over now. That was a magnificent run by Nicky. Again, beat a couple of players, believed in himself, just tough man. Ran away with it. Here we go, see him diving in the corner. He'll play that a few times before he goes to bed, that's for sure.
Tough conversion for the Warriors, but I don't think they'll need it. Less than 20 seconds to go. You probably wind the clock down here, but I think they're home and hosed. Across the face, the conversion. At full time, it's the Warriors 26, defeating the Palmerston Crocs 12, and the Jug champions for 2017 at the hottest sevens in the world will be the Northern Warriors, but the referee is saying there's still time remaining. Surely this will be the last play, Mark Ella.
It certainly will. I think there's no use busting the gut. I might as well kick it out and finish the game.
Hint of a late tackle there. As number 11 comes forward, nice little change of angle. Nice ball across the face, nice and flat, but couldn't be retrieved.
Nice and flat and forward.
One man's forwards, another man's flat, depending which jersey you're wearing, I suppose. But it's the Warriors defeating the Crocs 26-12. The Northern Warriors, Jug champions for 2017 at the hottest sevens in the world.
To come forward and receive the trophy from the NTAU CEO, Mr. Marquez. Well done, Northern Warriors.
For a bunch of boys that have come together in 1 week, pretty proud of how far we've got. Thanks to the Hot Sevens for inviting us to this tournament. And thanks to Army Crocs as well for giving us a good grand final. And thank the crowd.
Well done, congratulations, and we'll see you back next year.